And I bent down my head. My guys, tears dropped from my eyes. Now, the guy is angry because, not like he's angry, but he's just trying to prove a point to me. Because, yeah, he worked for P2B. I was sending them some stuff from Lagos there. They did. But normally, they would have worked for PDP, collect money, all this normal money that they would have gotten. But I told these guys to forget about money. Let's get it right for the first time. So when he said this thing, I was dumbfounded. And since that day, I haven't called him again up to today. Because for me, the reason why this guy must be disqualified is to restore the last hope of a common man, that this country can work, that there's something to salvage out of this country. This guy already knew that this Tinubu is a criminal. He mentioned his name. Now he knew, and he already told me that they will go ahead to install him, either him or the other guy, so that whatever we are doing is that. But he still had that little hope in him that he used to work with me with the little things that we did. He still had that little hope left, and that hope died completely in him on the 1st of March when he called me and made that call. And since that day, I've been hoping to return that call. I'm hoping to return that call when Tinubu is disqualified. That's I've told myself I won't call this guy, but the day Tinubu is disqualified, I will return that call. So guys, I'm not in for. In fact, I don't want to even go that way. The other side that you guys are talking, that's not my business. This Tinubu has a lot of baggage, and everybody knows this guy to the grassroots. I'm telling you, to the grassroots, they know. But this guy still told me that he will be installed. What the hell of a country? My brothers, I'm boiling, and I pray I will return that call. And this guy must be disqualified. I want to yield the mic here. Thank you, guys, and God bless you all.
All right, thank you very much, engineer. That was quite. That is a very. It's just crazy the fact that he said that, and it happened. But the good thing was that it's not happening for so long. So quickly, let's go to. Thank you very much for that submission. All right, Chini, you have been here, but your hands are not up. Are you here or are you here? Okay, I don't think Chin is here. All right, let's quickly go to. Let's go to Prince, then we'll come to Chin.
Good day, everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Please, am I being heard?
Yes, go on.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I had to get a good place in my office so that I could just thank everybody. Thank you so much for everything we're doing, because we are really in a trying period. Like, these are really trying times, and only the tough will survive. And the best strategy we can imply and the best strategy we can enforce is to prepare ourselves, is to help every Nigerian, every obedience, and every Nigerian, enlighten them about the strategies of these people. You know, about 2 months ago, thank you so much for the topic. And the topic, why many reasons why bats must be disqualified. 2 months ago, I was listening to a program on Hot FM. So I'm a fan of Nigerian Info, but at some point in time, so I was in the car and they were playing the kind of a broadcast on Hot FM. I just decided I was interested to call. So I called and they picked my call. I had to enlighten them. Reason being that, so about 2 months ago when bats reached out to the former governor of Kano State, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. So I told them that this is the strategy, or this has been the strategy of this man. We are not novice to all these political strategies. He is not trying to create a unity government or a united government. But what he does and what he has always been doing is to buy up opposition, bring them up under one umbrella, shut down opposition, and make his policies unchallenged. And that is why Lagos State is what it is today. So now, let me just bring us back to when he came into government. What was the first policy he signed? Data protection. Why data protection? Because he wants to protect his data, his information, and that of his kind. But unknowingly for him, thank God, but we have all this information. And the world has this information. Now look at CBN also came out with another policy that they want to have access to our social media accounts. For what? A same government who signed the Data Protection Act is authorizing CBN to ask for our social media accounts. That is a clash of interest. Why? They position themselves to protect their data when it suits them, but want to have access to other people's data when it doesn't suit them. That's wrong. So what am I trying to say now? I woke up this morning, same thing as several persons have talked about. And after the election, at some point I was feeling like, should I exit some platforms, especially some WhatsApp platforms? But I said to myself, this battle, even if Peter Obi comes in today, this is not a one-day battle. We have to still stay in the field and still fight for this country, even if Peter Obi is the president. So I stayed back and I chose to keep enlightening not every Nigerian, but the obedient, especially the obedient. Because I realized that we, the obedient, we are the majority. And we, the majority, we are mostly used to spread false information ignorantly, some of us. So while somebody posted the information about the rumor that has been spreading, and I am surprised that this information has currently been people are just getting to know of this. It has been on for, in fact, since May 29. This information that is currently spreading, it has been on since May 29. If you look at all the appointments and the policies of these people in power, it's just to tell you they are trying to silence opposition. They are trying to silence the minds of Nigerians. So it is their strategy. And I am grateful. When I saw the post, was it for the chairman of the Labour Party? I think we should be more strategic.
Please. To be honest,
yes,
I was just listening to you, listening. I didn't want to interject you, but I think you entered the wrong room. I think you don't understand. I listened to you when you said that, it has been flying all around, and you are surprised that it's coming to Twitter for the first time. No. We've heard it on Twitter. The only reason you've not been seeing it flying is because intelligent people on Twitter, people that know what they are doing, have stood against it for a long time. So it's not as if, it came and people withstood it. And I'm so glad that even the Nigerian government know if they want to get real people, they know where to go to. That's not a shade to any other social media platform. But see, the only reason it seems like this today is because some handler in Labour Party, and I'm going to mention it very clearly. I mean, I've spoken to some people that think the chairman was the problem. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know who was the problem. It's not my business. I mean, you guys had a closed-door meeting, and it should have remained closed door. If you read that publication, it should have ended at, even if they needed to publish anything, oh, Labour Party hold a stakeholder meeting, shike, now full stop. Someone picked what was supposed to be a preamble of a meeting and brought it on social media. But that I really don't care about that. We are not strategizing about any rerun or whatever. As in, you need to understand it very clearly. The conversation is that Tinubu must be disqualified. If you are here talking about strategizing about rerun, you are as good as Tinubu that wants a rerun. So just have that at the back of your mind.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. That's not what I was about to say. Thank you so much.
You are going to
Thank you.
The Labour Party.
No.
Said,
No.
Start to strategize. I don't understand. Strategize clinical.
No. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate your correction and your advice. So, but that isn't what I was about to say. So, what we are currently, when I came in and I saw the topic, what we said is the strategy I am talking about. And what was that? Enlightening every Nigerian that Tinubu must be disqualified. How? Through the marketplaces, through every form of gathering. You know, somebody talked about getting the billboards, the flyers, and everything. So what I felt the chairman of Labour Party should have done, thank you for just making me understand that probably somebody leaked out the information. But me, what I felt the information that should be coming from our top executives should be strengthening our communication system. And what do I mean by our communication system? Every word should receive that motivation that we are winning. That they should keep their ears on the courts, that they should listen to the information coming from the courts. Because the truth is that how we react to this rumor matters a lot. And what do I mean by how we react to this rumor? We must match them with stiff resistance. Stiff resistance that any form of such will not be tolerated. We won this election and it is victory and only victory will be accepted. Because the truth is that there is no smoke without fire. There is no smoke without fire. And the judges, the judiciary, they are listening to us. And our political response matters a lot. The way we respond to this issue now matters a lot. It will affect their judgment. Because I think I saw a quote online that the two parties knows who actually won. In our own situation, the three parties knows who actually won. So these parties are not the ones on trial, but the judges are the ones on trial. So the judges are going to be looking at our political response, looking at our political resistance, looking at our stamina to decide on what they are looking forward to doing. So let's not give up. This contribution, we have to do it. We have to give towards this. We have to give towards this project. And this project is enlightenment of all our structures. That they should put more resistance. They should put their mind, they should put their resources into speaking to everybody that Peter Obi won this election and Peter Obi has to be declared the president. And we all have our eyes on the judiciary. And finally, I want to say this. Please, the kind of comments for every ethnic issue we see on social media, let's try as much as possible to avoid it. Ethnic issue. If you go to Neraland, you will see how that platform has been polarized. And how has it been? I have been on that platform for such a long time, and I noticed that this ethnic coloration started in 2013. 2013. And those people in power at the moment were the one who brought this ethnic coloration, this alleged ethnic bitterness by politicians, not by the ordinary Nigerians. Mark that word. Strategic political hatiness hatred sponsored by the politicians, perpetrated by the politicians' feed workers. So we have to try as much as possible to avoid ethnic discussion. Because, let me even be more specific. Now I noticed that for every Southeasterner on social media, I just want you to know that I am not from the East, neither I am not an Igbo person, neither am I from the South. But I just want you to know that the way the strategies of these politicians is that every Southeasterner that speak on social media is speaking for the whole of Igbos, for the whole of the ethnic called Igbo. So you, as much as possible, know that you are not just representing yourself. It has come to that point in time. Know that you are representing a whole large number of persons. So let's try as much as possible to avoid, ignore anything ethnic, ignore it for the sake of even His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi. So that we will try
please,
to
can you
always
round
as
up in
much as
like 30
possible.
seconds?
Yes, so that we will try as always as possible control the narrative on social media. We have to keep controlling the narrative. The narrative on Twitter, the narrative of all social media platforms is our strength. So we must keep controlling the narrative and we will win the battle. Thank you so much. Peter Obi is coming and we will not give up. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you very much, Prince. Sorry about going after you like that. Well, sorry, I just have to use you, Sha, so that anybody that wants to come after can know that. I'm glad. I mean, sometimes when my ear don't hear strategy, I say, this strategy with this person they talk. But I'm glad you were very clear on what you meant. Thank you very much for that. And your submission is actually very profound. It's very profound. We need to, especially regarding ethnic bigotry and all that. We need to try and avoid all those kind of baits as much as possible. It's a bait oftentimes. It's usually, in fact, most people that do it, they do it as a bait for you to follow. I've blocked obedience for it many times. In fact, I think that's one thing I can block an obedience for without looking back. If I just see you show any form of unnecessary ethnic bigotry moves or more, either way. And so sometimes I say bigotry, it's almost like racism. Some people think when you say racism, some people think, oh, it's only white person discriminating a black person. They don't know that it goes both ways. So if you are even Yoruba, you discriminate against Igbo, you are gone. For me, if you are Igbo, you discriminate against Yoruba, you are gone. Anyway, any side, if you even be a docent, you go discriminate against another one, you don't collect with that. For your own go worse pass. All right, anyway, let's just quickly go to Chini. Chini, please go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Okay, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. I this conversation is really very, I don't know. I just want to tell us that, like I always ask, where are we? If you are obedient, are you really obedient, or are you not obedient, or are you sitting on the fence? There are conversations that we must not engage in or propagate in itself. So I will stick to the topic. The main reasons why Bat must be disqualified. We've heard the recording played by well-meaning earlier, and I'm just going to take 2 points out of all of these conversations happening around Tinubu. First of all, we all know about the forfeiture that happened within the drug case, and we know about the other one, the document forgery. So I just want to paint a picture of this whole thing for you to know. If you know or you don't know already, let me just say it again. And I'm reading from someone that also explained it. So it says, let's assume that someone called Mr. A and his supporters committed a crime. And this crime, in the process of committing this crime, after committing this crime, they were found guilty. And there is a plea bargain that comes with forfeiture of that comes with any crime. There are actions, there are consequences, there are options they will give you to take. First of all, in a case where Tinubu forfeited, in a case where someone commits a crime, you cannot forfeit your property to the government if you are not admitting to committing that offense that you've been charged with. So there must be a crime before a forfeiture. Whoever is propagating that it was a civil whatever, no, there must be a crime before a forfeiture. It simply means that if someone is accused of committing a crime, the person is also admitting that they are guilty, and there is a criminal charge leveled against that person. And one of those, and one option that can arise from that criminal charge is forfeiture. And that is what happened with Tinubu. So in pure sentence, Tinubu is a criminal, who committed he's a criminal, and he had options of the penalties for his crime, and one of it was forfeiting some money, and that crime is drug trafficking. So it's not just any crime. Drug trafficking is so terrible. It can shut down a system from the smallest to the biggest. You guys already understand the whole Yahoo thing, how people have been involved in it. Even children no longer want to go to school because it's easy. In quotes, it's easy to get involved and make money. Most children now think it as normal, like it's very normal. Scamming people is a business, it's people's business. So when you think about that rave, when you think about the spread, bring it to the drug trafficking part. It's already circulating in the country. It's everywhere. If you go to universities, most of these private universities, you will see that it's all over the place. If you go to the northern states, for example, Kanu, you will not believe what he's doing. You will not believe what's happening there within this whole drug thing. And then you will now have a leader, or someone that in quotes is a leader, to now be in charge, to now sign bills to make him be on the safer part of justice. That is not acceptable. When you come to the document forgery, the Nigerian Constitution pointed document forgery out in three different sections. It says the document must be in writing. They defined it in three different ways. The document must be in writing. It is falsified. There will be an atom of falsification on that document, and people know about that falsification. And that document is presented as a legitimate document, like it's something that has been presented for a legitimate reason. And it went further to say that anybody found guilty of this, the section of that constitution provides 3 years of forgery. Life imprisonment is provided for forgery using the forgery of Nigerian federal or state government seal, and 14 years in cases of national and legal interest. Please tell me, which category does Tinubu fall into? A whole nation like this, you want to use certificate to deceive us. Others have come and gone. They have succeeded, though, including our dear Bubu. But this one, his crime is too much. You can't even equate it with anyone. It's too much. From the past till present. How long will we continue like this? If you don't have any other reason to say that, this whole news, I don't even want to talk about it. I think the angle we should come from now is the reasons why, permit me to use that word, whatever thing, he does not qualify to even run for the presidential seat of Nigeria. He does not qualify. As a result, and by extension, he does not qualify for any subsequent action that may arise as a result of this 2023 election. That is my stand. This news we all know. People, like when said, it has been there. It's not the first time. Unfortunately, this same media that has been gagged is the same media they are using to propagate it. Evidence, wise up. Were you there? Were you there when that man said it? Abi, they said, and you heard, or you read somewhere and took it up. Were you there? Why can't we build this force, continue this force on our own? Just bring out the narrative. Is this same gagged media that are propagating this thing, and we are taking it, people are taking it hook, line, and sinker? I'm talking about it. Were you there? Were you in the meeting? Are you part of those people that did the meeting? Abin, are you writer? I beg go. We need to wise up. We need to stand. We need to know where we are. Are you on the fence? If you're on the fence, then maybe when the wind blows, it will carry you to any side. But right now, we need to define where we are. I yield.
All right. Thank you so much. I got the message from someone. Thank you so much, Chini. Please, we're live on YouTube and Facebook, so we can all share this conversation. You know, people on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram need to know what's happening. So please, let's share the link to them. So please follow our Twitter handle, our Facebook, and our YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. So you can get notification when we're live, so you can share with other people. I will also try and copy the link and paste it on the Jumbotron so that you guys can also share it. All right, let's move on with the conversation. I know someone sent me a message. Who was supposed to go next? 1 minute.
Let's go with the side. So, side team, let's go.
Before you could use
1 minute. How you doing?
Adele, fine.
Not clear. Now I said you for come. I greet everybody in the house. The Lord bless you all. On the disqualification of Tinubu, which is so sacrosanct, which is imminent, and which is like supposed to be done yesterday. That is like, if you start from 1999, primary school, secondary school, all were fictitious, all were on the table of life. You know, he survived it because the man who took him to court was not a contestant and the case was struck off. And the same man bought this forfeiture and they wrote through Balogun. So his disqualification has been there from beginning. And because people didn't get to the root and the right people didn't shoot the case, so he has been escaping. This time, to show how stupid and naive he is in his mind, no primary, no secondary this time, you know, have to go to Chicago. The Chicago results. And he found out that his admission to Chicago, he didn't present anything concerning it. Even as he submitted everything in court, as everyone saw, all he brought from Chicago is someone wrote to Chicago and said, did somebody or anybody called Bola A. Tinubu attended Chicago University? That was all they wrote. And Chicago replied and said, yes, by the school authority, somebody with this name attended. You know, that kind of question. So, just a shallow face. But people who went there subpoenaed and they got the person who in the form of Bola A. Tinubu and the third person, the result he used to gain admission. So Tinubu does not have that result that used to gain admission. So that shows it outrightly disqualified. The forfeiture has already been confirmed by the same witness they brought outrightly. So when it comes to him being disqualified, he's over 110 on that spot there. That is, he didn't fall below 100. He's even above. So I don't see how the lordship will look at such case. And I don't see where technicality or spirit of law will have to debate anything there. Whether you use the Amadioha pattern or the Edo Ayelala or the Songo from Yoruba or whatever shrine. That man is guilty. And let's not, and when you open the page of his disqualification, J's are all there. The third person who went to Chicago was 1954. His form was 1952 with INEC. So lying under oath is another case, heinous case. at the seat of this kind of power, at a place and at a time like this. And I want all of us to be enjoying and conjoin in this kind of movement that, look, business is no longer as usual. As the day breaks, the world is going global. Things are changing rapidly. But if your mindset is taking you way back to 1930, the time of the Ojogulas, or it's taking you to 1999, the time of Obasanjo, where they can just write results, and you go to field or you didn't go, forget it. Or you are just still in 2019 here, where Oshomole and everyone has to help Tinubu, Buhari to rig, and Atiku went to court on a shallow case. Let me tell us, you see, the way you present your case, thank God Barrister David is here, is what matters in court, what you are praying for and what you are going for. The same case you presented and lost. If another lawyer take it up and tell you this is how you're supposed to write for what you are looking for, the route you follow is ambiguous and you couldn't prove it. But with the proof you have, this is where you would have followed and you will get justice the way you want it. That is how case is. So they've never seen a tribunal like this in the presidential, and that is what we've all seen. And somebody who we voted for told us, it should have been well said and well pronounced that, we supported Obi. He told us for what we are seeing in court, Obi didn't do well. I think he wasn't prepared. No. But what we are seeing, he was over-prepared. And even we that are laymen could even see through the eye of the justices and the needle and say, the Benin's will say, that this case has already given verdict to herself. The reason is, what do you have to judge here? The man that is seated there came in through an institution. The institution couldn't tell, present, show how the man they called winning to took that position. And we knew before this day, when it comes to rigging, there is that close mark. Additional numbers will be added. But when the margin is too wide, what do you do? Where Labour will have 381, APC will have 15. Then they will take 3 from the back of Labour and leave them with 81. Take that 3 to 15 and call it 315. That's to tell you the magic can contain an elephant, that this man was beaten battered. So how will I make or Yakubu and read this one? Because this time around now, we're not talking about technology, which has been signed into law, which was fully against them. So this disqualification is no longer, you couldn't prove beyond reasonable doubt. No, because there is a doubt that is proven now, which is the technology. That one is there. So Beavers will have it. He must be disqualified. The same Arab, even if he does not have it, Beaver has his back end. So this man can easily be disqualified because it is no longer easy. A prototype has been produced, same paper, for my neck, certified. They deny what is certified. That is to say, you are not responsible. You are irresponsible. So Tinubu has no local standing to be in that office. The error brought him there. What kind of error? By Nigeria Constitution, even if you pronounce a goat the winner, the eye of the law has said it, that man has been pronounced by the recognized institution. If it takes the eye of the law 2 years to take him off, 1 day to take him off, that man must be there. No lacuna, and there is no vacuum. So that is why ever since people said they are depressed, maybe because I know a little and won't say much. That was why I was not bothered. Because I know this is how it's going to go, and this is how it's going to come to an end. This is the end of the old game. The mind game has been the job of politicians. So we were privileged to be with them, and we know how they second guess. We know how they rule the people. We know how they control the minds. All they do is the narrative, the media, and every aspect. We see that we've captured the other side of the media, which is social media. The obedient have engulfed it, and it's not difficult for them to circumvent so many other things. Because at the time they want to propagate an issue, obedience is there to bring it down. And one glorious joy the obedience have is whatever they bring in, you hardly find that 99% of those things are not true. 99 is extremely true. And you find that at the end, 100% true. Nobody has ever done this man the way obedient have done. To the likes of David Udain and so many others. So this man is a shame that somebody that is called a professor presents somebody who never had a primary school, nor secondary school, or a formal education. A man who went to work in ExxonMobil with what we call Oluwole document. So many of you might not have the understanding of the word Oluwole. In 1991, it was a common palace name in Nigeria system where they forged all manner of documents. Remember, this international passport was not this kind of footprint international. It was at the time a sticker. It was at the time a stamp. So at the time this man went to United States, it was on the name of somebody else, and that wasn't his name. So many people did it. And as I'm talking, those who knew understand. So it was done in Oluwole Palace, and that document was given to him. He used it, and that school certificate, he has to take the other part and work with ExxonMobil with another person's name and another person's identity before he came back. That man is 100% qualified, more than enough to be disqualified. So I will yield my mic here. One MMC, the Lord bless you all. Remain blessed, Her Excellency.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mr. Saracen. Thank you very much. All right. So, guys, soon I'll play why I like to play this video sometimes that I know if we put links out there some of the time, not everybody will go and listen or watch it. Some people may forget. So soon I'll play like an explanation by Net Media of, I think, just a deep and probably even on violence space later today. I'll probably ask Saddam if it's possible to play it again so that people. I want it to sink. Let's say no, they sink. I want it to sink. But for now, I'll just take a couple of speakers and I'll play that audio. I'll play it in 2 parts or 3 parts, 3 different parts and speakers in between. So, but quickly, let me just take Real Jack, hold on. Franklin, you have been here, I think, for the longest. You dropped at some point. Let's take Franklin, Real Jack, David in that particular order. And can we just do 3 minutes? And I mean, I want to be. I don't know reasons for why Tinubu must be disqualified. Because I don't know. I don't know. Me, I know many. Franklin, go ahead.
No get her for head. That's another reason.
Okay, good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, well-meaning Her Excellency, Engineer Andy, and all of us on this space. I greet you all very well. Well, one of the reasons why Papa Mesoma, a.k.a. Bobo Chicago Tinubu, must be disqualified is because of the constitution that says 25% and the FCT. You see, that word "and the" is specific and direct to mean that the FCT is a separate entity from the other 36 states. So I want to see how the courts will shift goalposts in this issue. Also, whoever is bringing whatever acronym to define whatever they want to define, they are on their own. All of us should just focus on the judiciary. There is this song by one Nigerian actor, Osofia. I'm sure all of us know him. He sang, "Agreement is agreement. You don't reach for settlement. You can't tell me nonsense." They said we should go to court, and we went to court. It is now time for settlement. They are trying to bring something from a different way. But one thing they should know is that soldier ants, when you go sting them, they don't go feed bear them. Well, I just say make I come off for office now. Hey, Luna, I've been trying to just.
Franklin, don't hook. Or is it just me? Okay, Real Jack, please go ahead. I think Franklin is struggling. Real Jack, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Weminin, and thank you all obedience presently here. I think I'm coming up. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, thank you. This is Rejak. I think I just want to add, because since yesterday that Julius Saburi tweeted about people being.
He wasn't the one, no. He wasn't Abure. He wasn't the one.
Sorry, let me not say Aburi. It was on the LP Twitter handle.
Labour Party and
So
that way.
the handler, let me say, the handler tweeted. So when the handler can be anything, tweeted. So when we saw it, most of us were uncomfortable. Although, like that thing was tweeted, actually somebody might be able to have a hint of maybe a possible plan of APC, because they collude with INEC, and maybe the possible thing they want to do with the court case as well. So, and this is a very fatal time for them to launch this campaign, to see how they can gaslight and see our possible reaction, so that at the end of the day, if the tension dials down, maybe they'll be able to push that into effect. You'll be able to deliver that judgment that way. But judging from what LP and our principal have presented in the court, so it will be uncalled for, or to be insane for any judge not to disqualify Tinubu as well as Shetima. And even though anybody is having the opinion of possible reform, nobody has been able to dispute the facts that what the IP came to the court with, the document that speaks for itself, have not been able to prove that our principal P2B won the election. I don't think, because INEC, all of you saw it, INEC witness could not dispute anything of that nature. The only thing they said that there was glitch, which we had somebody from AWS that said there was no glitch that very day. And from what the witness said, you could possibly see, that they intentionally did what they did in order to sabotage the whole process, because they thought it was that analog time period that they normally rig that election and nobody will hold them accountable. But this time, they never foresaw our principal having holistic evidence against them this very time. And it will be uncalled for the judges to come and say the last prayer will be the order of the day, when we have documents that have proved that our principal won that election. So on that basis, I think on that premise, AP candidate, our principal should be declared a winner of the election. So that is very, very important. So nobody should come and tell us, even though the possible rerun, I know that it was part of our prayer in case of eventuality. But from evidence provided so far, even though you are not a legal luminary, you can see the direction that this case is supposed to go based on the evidence available before the court. So we should not normalize saying that rerun of a thing, because this is not just only cat flying they are doing, they want it to become the order of the day. So when they push to that narrative,
Is it just me? Can anybody hear me, Jack?
No, it's not just you alone.
Jack, sorry. Otilo. All right, let's quickly go to David.
Please share the link to the YouTube and what's the other one? Facebook. It's up on the Jumbotron.
Thank you,
Sorry, David,
thank you, Ngozi.
sorry. Please share the link. Soon I will play that. I want to play that video so people can see when someone explains this damning evidence. I mean, and this is not even the one presented by Peter Obi, so I need you to just hear it. So please share it so that your people in the village, your people at home can also hear it by themselves. All right, go ahead, David.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. It's my pleasure being among Obedience again. Okay, I think talking about disqualifying Tinubu is indirectly talking about a rerun. So when I heard disqualify, or when I saw many reasons why Bat must be disqualified, it kind of means to me that we're indirectly talking about a rerun now between Labour Party and PDP. So because if Tinubu, whether or not Tinubu is disqualified or disqualifying Tinubu, what consequences is that to us if our
David, you want me to explain?
principal is declared the winner?
You're a lawyer, but I can explain to you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if Tinubu gets disqualified, his votes become wasted votes. And when his votes become wasted votes, there will be a recount using the real votes that were used, that were acquired both from the IRF and the normal vote. And from that vote, Peter Obi won. So that's not left to the court. But what's quite vital first is that before anybody moves an inch, the first thing is that Tinubu must be disqualified.
Okay, but without even disqualifying Tinubu, if the court examines the legitimate votes, they take all those votes again and examine the legitimate vote, our principal won. Because the truth is that all the votes Tinubu had,
Tinubu, even before that, is still not full justice. That's the point.
Okay, so, well, here, firstly, I believe there are three reasons anyway why Tinubu should be disqualified. There are three reasons. The forfeiture, the forgery, and the double nomination. Three of these should kick Tinubu out of it, really. But I don't even like to look at the disqualifying thing itself, because I believe that whether or not he's disqualified, our principal will emerge the winner. There's only one thing that kind of give Tinubu any edge here, but even that one thing was he got it by fraud. Let me explain that again. There's only one thing that kind of gave Tinubu an edge, and it was INEC that gave it to him. And even that thing that INEC gave to him, it was gotten by fraud. That's the number. The number is the only thing that makes Tinubu like as if he actually won. But that number that INEC gave to him, INEC fraudulently gave it to him. It was a rigged number. And so if the court settle down and check all the legitimate votes, you find that Tinubu did not even come second. He probably come a far third somewhere behind there. And all the legitimate votes that were distributed to him came from our principal. So see, the thing here is that Tinubu himself, as far as I'm concerned, he lost the election because even that number that he got, that INEC rigged for him, was our principal's number. And whether the court moved or not to disqualify him, our principal won. And if the court declare our principal a winner, who cares what happens to Tinubu? Our principal won, and that's that about that. Okay, but there are three reasons why I think Tinubu should be disqualified, because if this is the topic of this space: one, forfeiture; two, forgery; and three, double nomination. And the forfeiture thing itself, I think a lot of our people really need to understand where this forfeiture is coming, the dynamics of the American legal system, and how it is now in Nigeria, in terms of Nigeria interpretation, how it is domesticated. The American legal system basically has three kinds of forfeiture: civil, criminal, and administrative forfeitures, right? And you see, a lot of our folks need to understand how criminal proceeding works. There are two types. There are two stages of a criminal proceeding. There's the main proceeding. So there's the preliminary proceeding and there's the main proceeding. The preliminary proceeding is where the police, suspect someone of committing an offense, and then the police move to investigate that. And in their investigation, they gather evidence here and there, and in most cases would call this so-called suspect. And that's for instance, let's look at it from Tinubu's situation here. The court is look, you have this amount of money in your account. Can you provide evidence how you legitimately got this money? Show us how you legitimately got this money. You need to show that, and this is part of the preliminary investigation. The suspect, can you show us how you got this money? You have this lots of money in your account, and there is no trace to a legitimate work or a legitimate business where you're paying tax when that all this money came into your account. So provide that. You see, here's the thing. And in a preliminary proceeding, if the police are not able to get enough evidence. In the UK, the percentage is 75%. In many other European countries, is up to 80%. In America, I heard is somewhere around 75%, just like in the UK. So the evidence is to come around 75%. For them to say, okay, we have enough evidence to start a main proceeding in court. That is a trial. And if they don't have that evidence, they're not able to take that to trial. But they can still go around through the civil procedure and get that money from that person, especially if that person during the preliminary procedure is not able to clarify how he legitimately got that money, but they don't have enough evidence to still go prosecute this, take it to a main trial. They will still go through the civil procedure, and that person will forfeit that money through that means. So, in my opinion, this is exactly what I believe Tinubu went through in America, and there are many other ways again. For instance, even in a criminal proceeding, there are two ways a person can also even forfeit any illegal money the person is holding. For instance, in a criminal proceeding, the person can actually plead guilty, or make a plea bargain and so on. And the person makes a plea bargain. This person is already found guilty, and the deal is done, and there's a criminal forfeiture. And if the person is taken to trial where the person does not plead guilty, and then the person is found guilty in trial, the person criminally forfeits whatever that person is holding. But like I said, if they are unable to take the person to trial, and the person through the preliminary procedure was not able to clarify how he got that asset, they can go through the civil procedure and get that asset from that person forfeited. But domesticate that this procedure in Nigeria, domestic law in other jurisdiction has already been clarified by case law in Nigeria. Forfeiture is forfeiture, and forfeiture is deemed in an offense itself because it has gone through a procedure whereby you have been asked to clarify this asset and you've not been able to clarify it. And so anybody that goes through any forfeiture in America, that person is unqualified to contest for any government position in Nigeria. It has even been clarified by case law by the Supreme Court. So Tinubu should be disqualified on that. Tinubu should be disqualified on forgery. Forgery is pretty straightforward. You alter a document or you produce another document that looks like the authentic document. This is clear. Tinubu should be disqualified on that. The double nomination is also clear. Tinubu should be disqualified on either of these three. But look, my brothers and sisters, if our principal is declared the winner, to hell with Tinubu and whatever they want to do to him. I want Peter Obi to be the president of Nigeria because that's who I voted for, and that's all that matters to me. So if they declare the winner, I don't care what they do with Tinubu. As a matter of fact, I think Tinubu should also be prosecuted under the Nigerian Criminal Code after he is disqualified. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. David. Thank you very much. So today, this is the conversation because, okay, let me bring it like this. Peter Obi's petition is on three grounds. I say this every time. And the first ground is that Tinubu was not qualified to contest on some reasons. The second ground is that INEC had non-compliance, with the Electoral Act. The third ground is that Tinubu did not score majority of votes. So now from the petition, what have been proven, even from the fact that Peter Obi 10, because I'm sure Peter Obi's lawyers will not be bothered 10 during the results if they know he did not declare Peter Obi winner. So one thing that has been proven is that Tinubu did not score majority of votes. The other thing that has been proven is that INEC did not comply with their guidelines. So, but how substantial that is will be determined by the court. We leave it for the court. The third ground, I'm just trying to tell you why this conversation is now, right? So we are basically talking about the third ground where Tinubu must be disqualified. And you are right about those three reasons. Those are very strong reasons for disqualifying Tinubu anytime, any day. As a matter of fact, I know you tried saying maybe they couldn't find it. Okay, I don't think you were here at the beginning. There's a link on the Jumbotron to a documentary, deep dive documentary about how the Tinubu drug case came about. You just try and watch it later. You discover that, in fact, first of all, Tinubu was not. There are so many things that came together that made them just use civil forfeiture. Which, if you go, I mean, thank God you are like a lawyer that practices as well in the US and all that. I have had to read a lot. And one thing I think I first discovered is that the 18 USC code in itself, where whether criminal forfeiture, civil forfeiture, every other things that has to do, that 18 USC code is regarded as a criminal code. So everything under it is related to a crime. If they are prosecuting you under 18 USC, whether it's on 981, 982, whatever, it means you have committed a crime. It just only defines how they will deal with you. So it's why people like Festus Kiyama that comes to say civil forfeiture for a crime. Criminal forfeiture for a crime. What's very pertinent there is the fact that there was a crime, and like you rightly also said just now. So thank you very much, David, for that. All right, Uncle Tony, hi, you are here today.
Well-meaning Nigerian, I'm always here. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to every obedient in the house, wherever you might be spacing from. It's good to be back here again. Another wonderful, beautiful day to trade ideas and understand things as they come. Now, I came up specifically to talk about the moral reason, in my opinion, why Tinubu should be disqualified. A lot of people, a lot of my fellow Nigerians, brothers and sisters, they've come up already and spoken as to the legal reasons why he should be disqualified. But I beg to talk about the moral reason because it's very, very important. Now, I was born in the Yoruba land. I grew up there, and I know what it means when the Yoruba man says, Omoluabi. We were raised with certain values. And to me, growing up, pretty much under Yoruba doctrine, if I may use that, it's an embarrassment for me to tell my son here that the president was involved in drug deals. It is an embarrassment because it's not one of the values we were trained with growing up. We were brought up under strict rules of, respect your elders, work hard, bataya dunkoko ka to ba share to bakawe. And here we are today, sitting down, discussing about someone involved in drug dealings who pretty much captured a whole city or state, now trying to bamboozle us into believing that he's a godfather in his own living room. Not on my watch. And we must give it whatever we need to do together to make sure that he is disqualified. We all need to put our hands together. When we started this journey, no one ever thought it was going to be easy. If you were fantasizing that at some point in time it was going to be easy, you are not yet ready. Okay? This is about the size of the fight in you, not the size of the dog in this fight. So if you are not coming with that size of a big fight in you, please just step back and stop getting in the way of those who are ready for the big fight. Okay? Let no one come here to talk about the R word. It's sickening to me and I don't want to hear it. Let's not talk about it because it's absolutely unnecessary. We won that election and we want the judiciary to simply do the right thing. Okay? That's all we are demanding for. We're not asking them to give us an extra vote. We're not asking them to bend the rules. Just look at the evidence before you, make a decision based on it, and tell us what we need to do. We are fair and honest losers. If based on the evidence, Peter Obi lost the election, then we will say, yes, we gave him a good run for his money. If Peter won, then give it to us. Everything should be based on the rule of law. As simple as ABC. Why is that so difficult to do, for God's sake, for crying out loud? I am begging once again, my fellow brothers and sisters, Nigerians and obedience. I assume we have some Abadorians here. They're all feeling the shaking going on, no doubt, including well-meaning and obedient Nigerians, unfortunately. They're all going through the same thing. We equally have obedience outside, living in the diaspora. I happen to be a diaspora. I'm feeling it too. Yeah, because back in the day, if I used to send only 10 naira to my loved ones back home, I've increased it because of the inflation. So there's no doubt about it. We are all feeling it. So we cannot deny that. You know? And in this fight, we are all in need for a common cause. So please, let's stay focused. Focus on the judiciary. Do not consider them as your friend at any point in time. I don't trust them. And that's why I'm in this battle, to make sure that they see the right thing and do the right thing, no matter what anyone says. Well-meaning Nigerian convinced me with his, should I say, analog on the violence space, the way he detailed it. I'm not a lawyer, so I try to listen attentively when someone with better knowledge and understanding of the law explains. I've learned a lot from David as well when it comes to break down certain things to us. And I think we should use this opportunity to learn and understand and stop going to spaces where they come up and give you a whole different version of story, right? It is just not healthy. Let's stay focused, do the right thing, and by God's grace, we will get our mandate back. So on that note, I yield my mic and I thank you all very much for the opportunity to speak. So although I'm a co-host, but
I know
unfortunately I would have to drop off a bit. Thank you very much. Well-meaning Nigeria. Back to you, please.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. Meanwhile, so I'm going to play the first part of the tape, and this really talks about the what PDP tendered against Tinubu, relating very much to mostly forged documents, NYSC, not really to forfeiture. And I want to play because I know I talked the video I played at the beginning of the speech, which was David Unden's documentary, spoke extensively about forfeiture, and I think a couple of people, even David not too long ago, spoke extensively about it. So this will speak very much to most part of that play will speak very much to forged certificate and NYSC. So really academic records basically. But before I play that, let me just quickly remind us, please, we are trying to raise as much funds as we can raise. We need to permeate the airwaves with the message of all eyes on the judiciary. Let people know that a lot of progress is being made. Let people, know that, they need to be watching out for what the judiciary will say. So the judiciary will know that we mean business. So that anything they are thinking about, it will be better. It will just really, really be better for them not to think about it that way. So, but I'll just play this first part, then we take a couple of speakers, and I'll continue for after that. Just give me a minute. Okay.
The bombshell revelations by Atiku's witness against Tinubu at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal introduced new documents never seen before. In order to get these documents, Atiku's legal team had to subpoena INEC to bring Tinubu's Form EC9, the form that every candidate in the presidential election filled before the contest. This document, among many that you will soon see, bears Tinubu Bola Adekunle, unless Tinubu changed his name some time ago to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then it is simply not his own. Before we see the implication of all these documents concerning the trial and Tinubu's fate before the judges, let's see the rest of the documents that the PDP witness submitted. They submitted certificate of service from Mobile, where Tinubu worked before he joined politics. There's the certificate from Chicago State University, the NYSC exemption letter, Tinubu's party membership card, and a letter from INEC that proves that the petitioners who subpoenaed them paid for the documents they released. So all the above documents are what the PDP got from INEC, and Tinubu submitted them himself to INEC. Now, to the documents that PDP got by themselves, they actually hired a notary public in the United States who subpoenaed Chicago State University to produce this form. This form contains all the information an undergraduate must furnish to the university before admission. Of course, the information contained therein describes the person, the gender, date of birth, the person's entire biodata and personal particulars. And apart from the person being a female, there's another discrepancy in the year of birth of the person, which is 1954, unlike the birth year of Tinubu, 1952. The second document that the PDP legal team got by themselves is the transcript from Southwest College. They issued this transcript to one Bola Tinubu A. This transcript also shows that the person is or was a female. And going by the NYSC exemption letter, it means that the A stands for Adekunle. That's not the only problem with the NYSC exemption letter, as at the time of graduation, which was in 1979, by that 1979 up till mid-80s, one can be exempted from the National Youth Service Corps based on overage. It is not clear if Atiku's legal team subpoenaed the NYSC to verify the authenticity of the exemption letter. More on the NYSC exemption letter in a moment.
All right, that's where that's the first part I wanted to play. But I'll continue it probably after a couple of speakers to get the full, like there was a brief, a more descriptive way put it. But one of the first things I want you to know, and I think a lot of people make this mistake yesterday. So what shows, the documents that show that Tinubu was female was the document that Tinubu had to submit, or rather, and when I'm saying Tinubu now, I'm talking about female Tinubu, the document that Sister Tinubu had to submit to enter Chicago State University showed Sister Tinubu was female. So I need that to come into your mind. So the person that entered Chicago State University was female. So just get that at the back of your mind. And like I said, another discrepancy was the year of birth, like I usually say every time. And if you heard what he said, so what happened was PDP subpoenaed INEC to bring EC89 and all the documents Tinubu submitted. The court has it. PDP subpoenaed, not PDP now, like a lawyer, of course, maybe they hired a lawyer, I don't know. A lawyer in the US subpoenaed Chicago State University to bring the original certificate. The lawyer brought it. It was tendered in court. So, I don't know. Tinubu must be disqualified. Anyway, okay. Let me just quickly get a couple of speakers, then I'll continue the video at some point. Let me quickly go to Marco. Marco, I think you have been here for a long time. Then we'll go to Dunke. And all right, Marco, go ahead. We'll take it from there.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I love the topic we're discussing, and while going through it and listening, I went down to write some things, and I'm going to read it. It has some quotes that will help us, and I want our judiciary, anyone that is listening or people close to them, to pay attention. Maybe you pass the message across to them, because what we are talking about is not a minor something. And the topic says, many reasons why Bat must be disqualified. Okay, let me just read this thing before I start going through it. The capital reason for him to be disqualified is because he is not qualified. You know, it's just a summary of if he is qualified or he is not qualified. He is not qualified. There's a lot of things that we can list that makes him not to be qualified. But then I will talk on the part of failure to disqualify Tinubu. The things that are bound to occur. I will go with this quote. It says, civil disobedience becomes a sacred duty when the state becomes lawless or corrupt. And that's by Mahatma Gandhi. Civil disobedience, it becomes a sacred duty when the state becomes lawless or corrupt. Now, these are the things that when judiciary failed to disqualify him, One, it will create a state of lawlessness. What do I mean by this? It means that the law of the land is of no effect. It is no longer sacrosanct. It means that some people are above the law. It means that the constitution is no longer binding in this regard as far as the highest position in the land is concerned. What are we talking about? The law is stated there and it is plain. Failure to disqualify him means that anyone can commit perjury. Anyone can forge certificates and go scot-free and nothing will happen. The second point, failure to disqualify him. It sets a bad precedent, which can always be referred to in the future. We are talking about something that can be brought up tomorrow. When, during one of the sitting, we saw how one of our judge, our son, the council, brought about the case of Osun State. We saw how they brought it, referred to the judgment that was passed there. And in some other ones, we also saw how they referred to a past judgment. So what am I saying in effect? Judges, listen. When you set this bad precedent, it will always be referred to in future. And I tell you the truth, a lot of things will happen. Now, number 3 thing is, a wrong message is passed to the well-meaning populace, law-abiding citizens, that you can do anything and go scot-free. You can manipulate your way out, live a fake life. I tell you the truth, judges, listen. When you don't disqualify him, what you have just signaled to the populace is that, CEO, you can do anything you want. You can do anyhow you want. You can forge anything. You can fake your life and nothing will happen. Now, number 4 thing is this. It ushers in the final hope of a common man, which most times doesn't end well as the people takes law into their hands. You remember one of the, when our VP was speaking on a Rise interview or thereabout, he said, yes, judiciary is the hope of a common man, but judiciary is not the last hope of a common man. The last hope of a common man is the people. And I tell you the truth, judiciary, the judges, listen, when you fail to be the hope of a common man, the last hope of a common man will take over. And when they take over, it may not be a peaceful way. A lot of things are involved in it. Number 5, he says, it pains and damages the image of the country the more in the wider world. Today, a lot of people out there are suffering because of the bad reputation, the image Nigeria has already. Now, think of it when the judiciary exonerates someone who committed perjury, who committed forgery, who his life we don't even know about. What do you think the world will be looking at us? How they will be seeing us? They will be looking at us as one kind people that doesn't know what to do with their life. And I want to say this. Judiciary, dear judges, the dice is toast. Now, I will leave with this quote. It says, the opposite of poverty is not wealth. The opposite of poverty is injustice. And it says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice anywhere. Judges, listen and listen the final word. Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. Don't think that it doesn't affect you. Don't think because I am not directly affected. Don't think that because I am at an upper place that I can solve some things, maybe financially and all that. I tell you the truth, when lawlessness steps in, when the people start to revolt, it will get to all of you. I call on judges to rise up and do the needful. This man is not qualified. He has a lot of baggages up his sleeves. We cannot run with this man. What are we talking about? What are we passing to our upcoming generation? that you can behave the way you want, you can do whatever you want, and you can still assume the highest position of the land. Or you can buy your way out. What are we even saying? Please, I'm rounding up here by saying, judges, the dice is toast. The ball is on your court. We are looking up to you. And remember that whatever you do today, you'll be remembered. Thank you, and God bless you. I yield my mic.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, Marco. So we'll just quickly go to. Okay, Nello has come to join us. If I play the finish, if I finish this video, things were Tinubu don't do. Tinubu don't. Hey God. 1 billion and one reason to disqualify Tinubu. I don't think there's ever. In fact, I was playing the video where Marco was talking to on just
Let
the
me
way I
tell you my own one reason. How can this man be licking the mic? Lick the mic. That is one of my
So
own reason.
I mean, it's crazy. It's
Imagine
crazy.
someone
And for people that
just play that video for you as your president. You are there in Nigeria, you're running your mouth, you are talking. They'll just play a video of your president licking the mic. God forbid. INEC disqualified that man ASAP. Back to you. Well, meaning.
Yeah. For people that followed me when I played the video, remember that these documents are before the court. So why I'm trying to restrict myself to things that are before the court. So people don't think, this is a space or this is a conversation where, I mean, I know man, we just the drag am and they shake like they shake. That's not what we are. This is before the court. You heard the documents that INEC brought on subpoena that Tinubu gave them himself. NYC discharge letter, his certificate, then of course affidavit for some other things, right? And the form where he said he has not have to assist an order. Then you heard what the lawyer the obedient lawyer. Remember that guy is an obedient too. Remember that witness that produced this document. That lawyer is obedient according to what he said in court. So we'll just see like some deep diving into it. But let's go to Dunke, and after which you come to Peter is better. Idowu, and we'll take it from there. Dunke.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm here. Hi, Nello, Gazi, everyone. What's up? I see Magnific there. Magnific, I promise I will behave. Marco, thank you so much for everything you said. He was like really nicely said and stuff. And I totally agree. I came in to reinforce Tony's sort of line of thought in that we can find a gazillion even legal reasons. But honestly, at this point in time, I do believe that it is that moral reason that's the thing. The moral reason, the damage that putting a man like that in power in Nigeria does to our generations to come, even the current one. I mean, you've all seen all the stuff that's going on, in Nigeria. And David, David, me and you, yesterday, yellow card. Today, you're on red card. Here is my issue. What is wrong is wrong. You say you are a lawyer, but you are telling us that we shouldn't be bothered about what happens to Tinubu. Are you for real? What happens to Tinubu is important. It is as important as getting our mandate back. Because he needs to be taught a lesson. If he isn't taught a lesson, the next man will come and do the same. How many stories have we seen of all this faked NYSC certificates and faked WAEC certificates that are even in court at the present? And you're telling us not to be bothered whether he gets disqualified or not. It is as important. He must get disqualified. It must be put on record that what he did was wrong. How dare these people put Yahoo boys in jail? That's what I say. They have no grounds to put Yahoo boys in jail. They have no grounds to put any young person in Nigeria and call them 419. That's EFCC that is arresting Yahoo boys. Okay, I won't use the word I was going to use because Magnific is here. Like, seriously? You present fake documents, perjury, lies, and you're telling me I shouldn't be bothered what happens to Tinubu? It's not even just Tinubu that we need to be bothered about what happens to. It's all the other thieves as well. If they continue to steal and they continue to get impunity, and Nigerians keep saying, oh, let's not bother about them. Okay, they're just stealing, we'll leave them with God. Then what stops the next man from doing the same? What stops the next man from doing the same? Why does this person get an exemption and somebody else does not? Come on. Red card, David, Motiwane, next time, blocking Lumagba. Because I am just not in it with the way that you come out and say stuff. As an adult, if we are going to say to younger people, what is right and what is wrong, there is no exception to the rule. You say you're a lawyer, therefore you should know. Do you go to court and say to the court, oh, Your Honor, yes, I know he did this, but can we just ignore it? Are you kidding me? Is that how the law works? I must be from a different planet. No, Tinubu needs to be shown an example. The man had such impunity and so much guts that he believed that 200 million people were idiots and he would be president over them. Nigerians are neurosurgeons, doctors, engineers, lawyers abroad and command respect. And yet, that tout, the lying, cheating, drug lord, and the Mahmoud and the rest of the geezers next to him believe that they deserve to lead us. So no, we are not ignoring his disqualification. It is a must. It is not an option. Because if he is not disqualified, then our judicial system is telling all Nigerians that it is okay to forge documents and they will be forgiven and ignored. No, it is not okay. If you see, there was a video, an interview from Dele Faratini on Channels TV, and I even had to make it my top tweet today. And in part of his video, he says, the judiciary must look at the process that has produced the incongruent situation that we have found ourselves in today and then tell us, is this normal? Is this as it should be? Is this the precedence we want to set for elections in our country? That is up to the judiciary. If they let him go, then they are saying it's okay. That's the bottom line. Disqualifying him is not an option. Not looking at what happens to Tinubu is not an option. Kiri must fool. Kuje prison we will do extension. All those that chop money should bring our money back. It is no longer the same Nigeria that they knew. They don't chop enough. It's enough. Enough is enough. What is wrong is wrong. There is no exception to the rule. Everybody should cough up the money they chop. Period. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Duke. Hallelujah. Big Mac came for you and you succeeded. Big Mac, you see your plan did not work.
Okay, the only thing I would beg of you right now, please change your profile picture to that of Jimmy, because you are Jimmy Pro Max. You and Jimmy, as far as I'm concerned, you are siblings in this movement. Please change your picture to Jimmy's.
We're going to check. I think Jimmy and I might be related, actually.
So, Wellman, at some point, you should allow me to respond to Dunke, because she said something that I think I should respond to.
David, calm down. You will respond. Don't worry. Calm down. We're not bantering with anger. You will respond. Let me let Wellman handle his space. I came up for one purpose, but everybody knows I'm going back down. No, she won today, so I'm going back down. Good job, Dunke. God bless you.
All right, thank
And
you
if
very
you're
much.
owing, please send me my money. If you're owing, send it, please.
Yes, so please send it.
All right, man.
You're hanging our phone sticker. Please. You're hanging our phone sticker in the air. So please, send it. Nello, check this thing. I sent the request. All right, quickly, let's go to Comrade. Comrade, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you for all you do. Yeah, it's good. And, good day, everyone, on the space. Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing, I couldn't agree more with, what so many speakers here have said. In fact, there was a point in time that I just ran out of points. But you see, there's something that people have not quite spoken about. The main reason for me, the most important reason I should say, why Tinubu must be disqualified, because that would be justice, is the fact that I don't think Nigeria as a country has so much time left again in terms of, keeping together. We people talk about IPOB agitation. There was Yoruba Nation, Sunday Igboho, and then we had the people in the north trying to get their Islamic states and all of that. The truth of the matter is that we don't have that much time again where we'll continue to place some people and treat some people as if they are above the law, while we're very quick to met out justice to people who are seemingly powerless and weak. We don't have that much time again. And I give you two quick examples. Mesoma, just here, a couple of days ago, her only offense was that she changed number. She did not change gender. And her name is her name. Right? Let's move from there to what's the name of this man? Dr. Oh God. The Director General before that was replaced. What's his name again? I can't remember. Anyway, the Labour Party former Director General was sentenced because he violated the Money Laundering Act. And the sin was that he handled more than he should have handled in terms of cash, raw cash. And he was sentenced. He was, disgraced, literally disgraced out of Labour Party. Out of that position of DG. We have so many examples around us of how these people are quick to do justice in some instances, while you see the foot dragging, you see the liturgy, you see the trying to paint it in a different color for some other persons. So what I would say is that this goes to the very core of our existence as a nation. If the court come out, see, Section 134(1) of the Electoral Act already establishes the fact that one of the grounds of the election petition is that the candidate, the person whose election is questioned, as at the time of the election, was not qualified to contest. So they cannot come and talk about locus standi, or what's that big grammar they normally speak. Right? So for me, they just have to do justice. If they want this country to continue to remain, it will look like a joke. It will look like, okay, people will continue, people will still take it, are they not Nigerians? But you see, nobody will wake anybody up. This country will be gone. Things will go from 0 to 100 in, with the speed of light. If these guys come and tell us with everything that we have seen, and kudos, by the way, to the people who have, despite the fact that the court wanted to, let all of these things happen in secrecy, people who have continued to bring this to light on a daily basis will get the updates and we see. So they have been boxed into a corner. And there is nothing else they can do other than to do justice. They literally have to choose between, having a country called Nigeria and,
satisfying some other persons and maybe fulfilling their own agenda. So for me, that is the core. Anybody who is looking at things deeply will know that when you listen to agitators, they have seen it clearly. It's just that we're using different terminologies. Some will call it state capture, some will call it the greed of the elite, so we call it corruption. It's the same thing. We just know that there's a massive injustice going on in this country. Some animals are more equal than others in this country. And that is really the most important point. Let's have it right. We have cases. Yes, I'll wrap up now. We've had cases where we had several cases that, people have been prosecuted severally. So there's precedence. So honestly, I believe that if they mess this up, the opportunity might never come again. Thank you, Ayib.
I agree with you, comrade. I agree with you. All right, quickly, let's go to Akoni. Akoni, please go ahead. After which we go to Ido.
Good morning from my side. Well, me, Nigeria, I hear you. Ngozi, Excellency, I greet you. Nello, Olufumi, big man, thank you. And everybody on this space, I greet you guys with love. Let me just start on the lighter note before I come to my information. When she said that David Mabeg, I was just laughing. I was laughing like, even though I was not in support of what David said, truly. And I understand David. He's trying to say that he doesn't care. He just wants the mandate to be restored, which I understand. But seriously, I'm not even a party to that. I want Tinubu to be punished. And I have to go check Junkers out. I've been listening to Junkers speak on Spaces. I have to go check her out, and I realized that she actually blocked me too. Maybe I said something sometimes ago. It's funny. I understand the blocking thing. We always have our diverse opinion. When you're thinking A, some people are thinking B, like myself. I don't even like people mentioning you wrong. When you mention it wrong like this, you're outside looking for my fight. You're looking for my trouble. I don't like people saying it wrong. So I understand no one have a diverse opinion. That's why obedience movement is very, very interesting. Even though we're all fighting for the same cause, but we're looking at it in different ways. So that's that. Now back to my submission. I would like to have a conversation with you, still on this point of many reasons to why Bat must be disqualified. I'd like to have a conversation with you. There's this thing I heard sometimes ago, I'm not sure if it is correct, that Tinubu's legal team presented another certificate that is different from what Tinubu submitted to INEC. Is that true?
Okay, want me to answer that? Okay, so it's one of the yesterday I wanted to speak on mindset space. I think it's one of the misconceptions that people have. So what Tinubu presented, according to the way it was called, nobody have that document till today, right? At least nobody in the public domain. What they presented, what they called it was academic records. They didn't call it certificate. They call it academic records. So point is, they are trying to just prove that he went to the school without proof whether the certificate is fake or not. And I don't know, it's kind of a funny thing, right? And like someone said on my speech yesterday, that if those academic records or whatever was submitted in court was something that proves strongly that Tinubu can be disqualified on the ground of a false certificate, that APC would have leaked those documents. The fact that they have not leaked it means it doesn't prove anything. So what they submitted was called academic records, not certificate, but nobody knows what it is.
Thank you, Wemini. Thank you. I was on that same space too. I heard that. That's why I even brought the case up here, the statement up here. And thank you, because to me, I believe that singular move actually indicted them, and that is one of the reasons why they had to close their case immediately. Because I think it's actually contradicted what Bola Tinubu has with what he submitted with INEC. And when they are trying to, the more they try to cover this guy up, the more they try to defend him, the more they damage his case. So with that singular act alone, Tinubu is actually qualified to be disqualified. And I don't think he has any case at all. Tinubu is in a serious mess. Do you know why we Obedience are so bold? Why we always have so much courage when we talk about P2B? Is because P2B himself is a symbol of anything that is positive You can boldly support, talk about Peter Obi because he himself presented himself as a symbol of positive thing, positive vibes. But Bola Tinubu is full with loads of baggages, like this academic record we are talking about. The person Bola A. Tinubu is a female. It's a woman. And you're claiming now he submitted another document which says that you are Bola Tinubu and you are Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, this. Do you mean I believe the judiciary is on trial, not even Bola Tinubu, because the evidence is too alarming. Everybody can see it. Everybody can see it in public. We all see we all know the truth. We all know the facts. So the way they're going to play the game is what I'm looking at. To me, I really the first thing I want first is for him to be disqualified before we now talk about recounting the vote. I want him to be disqualified and I want him to even be punished. But that punishment is what I don't think we can get because the kind of person he is. But at least disqualify him, then recount the vote, then put Peter Obi where he rightfully belongs to. Thank you so much. I yield for now.
Thank you very much, Akoni. Your last statement just made me know why Duke blocked you. You went to say Tinubu can be disqualified, but you don't think he can be punished. Now why Duke block you with that one? So I just gave you. Anyway, I get what you're trying to say, but
it's nothing but pencil in the hand of God. God go punish.
Anyway, all right. Thank you very much, Akoni. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best of luck with Duke. Hope you might be lucky. Anyway, let's quickly go to Manuel. I know you were here for a long time before. Oh, I'd call somebody. ID. Manuel, wait to ID. Please go ahead. Then we'll come to Manuel.
Oh, I was thinking I actually offended you. Good afternoon, Obedience. It's actually nice to be here on the space. I really enjoy our conversation. It has really been enlightening for me. I will be very brief with my submission. Of course, there are 1,001 reasons why Pat must be disqualified. So, but I'm going to, narrow it down to what the Constitution says, because it's important that if you want him to be disqualified, then there should be a legal, grant for that. Of course, our principal has been in court, and we have a whole lot of evidence against him, which I don't think they can even, withstand. So based on the Constitution in section 137 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it stipulates, the conditions on which a candidate is to be disqualified from contesting either for position of president. I know we understand that he was not even actually qualified the first instance, to contest for this presidency. So the Constitution actually states that a person be disqualified if is under a sentence of death imposed by any competent court of law or tribunal in Nigeria, or a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud. So I think the Constitution is very clear. Yes, the Constitution is very clear, and it pointed out the constitutional requirement for disqualification. It has no hidden clause to what the Constitution provided. So it means that for him to have forfeited, that money to the U.S. government, it actually shows that there was actually an offense that he forfeited the fund for. So this alone, for me, is enough reason why you should be disqualified if the judiciary must do the right thing. Because, of course, the law is very open to it, and it has no clause. So it's just for Nigerians to still put our eyes on the judiciary, as we always say, because for now we don't have any other option than to put our eyes on the judiciary. We need to hold them account to whatever decision they will be taking, because we understand how the election went, and it's not going to be nice if judiciary this time around do not do the right thing by restoring the mandate of the people. Thank you so much. I use the mic.
Thank you very much, ID. Thank you very much. You even carry and go law. There are many reasons. Go. All right. Manuel, Mesere. Manuel, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Mesere.
All right. Mr. Rende. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I have been listening in, and a lot, sufficiently so, has been said about the grounds for which Tinubu must be disqualified. I just want to say that add this one in not on the legal grounds, because that has been sufficiently addressed, that Tinubu has to be disqualified so that we can begin the new Nigeria. We can have opportunity to build a nation. Maybe just to further from where someone said, one of the previous speakers said that, have we considered that this, we no longer have time. We no longer have time to dilly-dally, that there's so much division among ethnic lines, Duduwa, Biafra, this is, all, and the IPOP, all of, we don't have time. And look at what just recently happened. We're Seychelles, right? I saw that. It's such a small country that, frankly speaking, even look at it, you put that country may not be able to rank with a number of states in Nigeria, just states. A country that may not be able to rank with many states in Nigeria is now saying, no, we don't want Nigerians to come to our country. So we may be able, we may get to the point where even this Guinea that the drug lord himself, has hold of this thing, may say, no, Nigeria don't do much. We don't want Nigerians to enter Guinea. So before we descend too low to the point where we no longer can be called a state, let's have this opportunity. Now the judges, the judiciary has opportunity to be able to give Nigeria a chance to now exist and to thrive. And then maybe on this last note, where I live here, there are two children who stays with their grandparents. The grandparents sells some wares. And then they call me Uncle Peter Obi. And I call them Little Peter Obi. Every people ask me when Peter Obi will be president. Well-meaning and my people. These children keep giving me a lot of heartbreak every time I have to answer them that question. so this man must be disqualified. He must be removed so that I will tell those children, look, this is when this thing has happened. This thing the little children of 6 years, 7 years, little children. So it's in the mouth of babes and sucklings. They know that what we have in Aso Rock is an impostor. So we have opportunity to do the right thing as a nation and be able to stand strong, stand like the Nigeria that's, that even the UAE came to borrow money. The Nigeria that, United Kingdom was afraid, would be a rival power, world power. I yield the mic.
Thank you very much, Manuel. Manuel, you mentioned Seychelles. Wow. Nigeria. We need to move.
See,
Do you know Seychelles have a population of 100 and
I'm supposed to go to Turkey this year for holiday. See,
Like, is it the food? Which Turkey?
Ngozi.
Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everybody. The children I told you they
Now,
are
let
here.
me finish
The
now.
topic of
Now
it.
it's supposed to be
It ain't move on.
e-visa. But they have removed us from e-visa. Now I have to go to their office to go and be doing all those long. Yes, they have. So I'm doing all those long appointment thing and everything. It's so annoying. Nigeria, everywhere they're just removing us. No easy access
I wanted
to
to put
anywhere.
context. I wanted to put context to what Manuel was saying. First of all, people think Seychelles is not a full-blown country. Seychelles is more like an island. It's an island, right? That just probably, classifies as a country. Seychelles has, as of 2023, has a population of 107,000 people. And people, I'm not sure, say, people where they look there for Abuja, they many past 107,000. Because it's less. As in, Seychelles has 107,000 people. The least populated state in Nigeria is Bayelsa. Bayelsa has almost 2.2 million people, about 2.2 million people. And anyway, make this Nigeria not go give Percy heart attack one day. Hey, Tinubu must be disqualified. That's just the truth. All right, before I maybe go ahead and play the video.
And you know the funny part is that these guys are actually removing us codedly. No interaction, no talk, nothing. They just remove
It's
us
only when
like that,
you
and no one
notice.
is speaking. You will not know. Or sometimes people have even traveled to the country and they will not
Wait,
say, you're not
Ngozi, you
allowed
said
to
no one is
come in.
speaking. What do you want them to say?
No, at least, mate. God, it's just that I'm expecting too much from brainless people. See people like that beauty, waiting be that one name. No brain. God. God help
So the
us.
thing is that so I think the truth is that as of now, the only countries that can still deal with us are countries that feel like they need us for resources. Have you ever seen anybody from Seychelles in Nigeria? Anybody from Seychelles does not need Nigeria, to be honest. They don't, so there's no need to rush and say, oh, they need us. They owe us a favor. Seychelles does not need Nigeria. It's why sometimes when this xenophobic attack in South Africa starts, and there was one time it was happening in Abuja, and some people went to ShopRite, was burning down like they were disturbing ShopRite. I told some of my friends, I said, people don't understand. The problem is that we have so many Nigerians in South Africa. Go through Nigeria, you probably will see, before you see a South African in Nigeria,
Means in
he came
Abuja,
for
you
a
might even
reason.
see them. It's even Abuja, you see
He
them.
came for maybe as a either diplomat, whatever. To say South African left South Africa to come and reside in Nigeria.
To come and hustle, to come and say it well, to come and hustle in Nigeria. It's not possible.
So I was just saying that those people that were born in ShopRite, some people don't know that ShopRite is a franchise. So you just bought a ShopRite that probably belong to in Nigeria. So you don't do South Africans anything. So most of these people that do us all these things is because we don't owe them anything, to be honest. In fact, we don't owe them anything. The best we can do is just beg them to relax, not to shout too much. That's all. But all that will be fixed very soon. Now, only this year will last. Only this year.
I wanted to speak on something that Comrade and Manuel just spoke on briefly. See, the level of decadence that is happening in this country. Now, literally, people are going to the courts to go and get injunctions that they should not be tried on crimes that they committed in this Nigeria. Ganduje has gotten a court injunction that he will not be tried for a crime that we caught on video. This is the level of what is going on right now. You know the INEC rec, Adamawa INEC rec. Andoaka is his lawyer. They have gone to the court to go and get an injunction that INEC cannot try him until what is happening in the tribunal is concluded. What is tribunal? What's tribunal's business with an INEC rep that usurped the job of a returning officer and announced, somebody else? And this thing is happening everywhere. Like Uncle Akaji said, it was Peter Odili that started it. And now, as you can see, all these guys, they will just run to the courts. And I don't understand why our courts are being used like this and nothing is happening. I'm listening. In short, the level of impunity that goes on in this country. The freedom of information law that they said they have passed. Do you know that if you go, one guy from Serap was on Arise this morning, he was saying that you go to all these ministries to go and ask for this information. Guess what? He said they get like 10% feedback, and then out of that 10%, it is only 2% that is positive. So imagine even the other 10%, the 10% is not, it's not even people responding. 2% are the only people that will come and give you positive feedback on information that is supposed to be accessible to you as a citizen. So again, it just boils down to impunity and people doing anyhow they like. And honestly, this country needs a reset. Because it can't continue like this. It's not possible. So it's either the judiciary, they do the right thing, or we could just help them reset the country, because we cannot continue like this. It's not possible. Back to you, Well Meaning.
Thank you very much, Nelu. So that's why we need to make sure that Tinubu is disqualified. And one of the best ways to get there is to ensure that the judiciary knows that they are the ones on trial. And this brings me to the account number at Jobucho. Ngozi, now you go to tweet cover and I go post time again. So the account
Excuse
number
you.
Jobucho.
You don't know that people are listening to all this space on Facebook and in
you know what made that
YouTube, and you need it.
Number.
And you know the funny part is that on Facebook and YouTube now the account number they show for the
Now why you think I the one make it different every time? Because those people, all these people for Twitter, I don't notice these people for Twitter. I don't notice that they only to analyze now we sabi for you. Anyway, that's just a joke, sir. Anyway, please let's. I know we're having a conversation. Like I said earlier, I don't want it to want us to stop and say, oh, let's start talking about contribution. But the account number is on the Jumbotron. Personally, I wouldn't even want us to, because there are people that have to do this. So as much as possible, I want us to do a full-scale launch at once. Let's not do print 20 flyer today. Tomorrow we'll print another 10 flyer. Let's just full scale. So please, as much as you can, no pressure. Let's send me a contribution. Whatever you send, you can send me a screenshot or Nelu or Ngozi or any of the guys that usually host or co-host the space. You can send a screenshot and we'll be very, very, very grateful. In fact, that's the major. That's make I check my DM whether I don't get any screenshots. Now wow. See how this here, I know this. I beg send me a screenshot. I beg. I need a screenshot. Don't go and send a screenshot.
Someone promised pledge 300k, so he has paid it too. Thank you so much. I forgot to announce that one. Thank you so much for your donation.
Now you understand low like that. God bless you. Anyway, please, guys.
Let's remove you from this space now.
Ngozi, how many times did I call you?
I don't change name.
Anyway, let's just take some more speak. I want to. Okay, before we take some more speak. Okay, let's take Peter is better because I know he has been here dropping back and forth. Peter is better. Please go ahead before I go ahead with the video.
Okay, thank you, brother. Can you hear me? My network is poor here. Can you guys hear me?
Speak now. Why we can hear you?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, Peter, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Just go ahead.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, women in Nigeria. Thank you for always making yourself available to educate our people as regards this particular situation that we have right now. And Ngozi, Nelu, I also appreciate all of you. Magnific Dude is not here, whatever he is, God bless you. And please let me make us something clear. Labour Party chairman did not make that statement based on the ground that he needs. Labour Party is want a reform. No. Labour Party chairman made that statement based on information, a very coded information available to him from reliable sources. That was why I made that statement. It's not as if that is what the Labour Party is negotiating, or that's what we want. We don't want it. We want an outright to win. And we want the election, let the judiciary give us our victory. That is all we need. So let us begin to find out notion that nobody is not in support of that particular thing that is going on. I suppose I've been saying this in time with that number long time ago, that these guys are already negotiating for a wrong. We said this in long time ago. We don't know what was going on. So he is aware.
Peter, how does that thing now disqualify Tinubu now? This thing just said, how does it disqualify Tinubu?
No, I just want to tell that if I will come. But the fact remains that Tinubu in the first instance was not qualified to contest for the election. You know what our people do is that our judiciary, our politicians, what they do is that they create a kind of laws and create some lacuna, then they can meander and walk through and manipulate. That's what they do. You get. So he is not qualified. The only evidence he brought, all the things he brought to defend his case, the case against him, the witnesses he brought, he saw there were nothing. There were nothing. And what they are trying to do now is to come and be gaslighting us. You see, they already started. They go to somebody's place today. I was saying rubbish. I was so angry on that space. So I don't know how these guys come to your business place and be gaslighting us. The gaslighting has already started. We have been saying so we must put our eyes on the judiciary very seriously. And that is why I must commend you guys for what you guys are doing here. All eyes on the judiciary. Tinubu must be disqualified. Please don't be distracted. They will come with a lot of distractions. The Apple thing is one of them. They will start calling and saying, oh, you know, it's one of them. You don't have to do the same. It is one of them. We know what they are doing, they are planning. So let us be focused and begin to follow these guys bomber to bomber with the fact that is available in the court. Because together, we must achieve that goal of paying back our mandate so that we can take Nigeria from consumption to production. All eyes on the judiciary. I yield.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Peter is better. Thank you very much. Somebody's making me laugh. All right.
Well, meaning, if you could just allow me a minute or two just to clarify something that Dunke, I beg your pardon, Dunke.
Wàhálà David, ṣé orúkọ mi ló ń ṣe fẹ́ni pé òun mọ Dùnkẹ́ pé àbí tún. Ó wá jà o, ó wá jà o, má wá jà mi o. David, èmi ló ń ṣe tún sí. Okay, Chikaba Keji, Chikaba.
Dunke not for Yoruba house.
Mabinu, she's actually my sister. She's Yoruba. Mabinu. Okay, so I want to no, it's okay. I want to clarify this very quickly. Okay, Dunke, let me just explain to you. Okay, I'm not calling myself a lawyer. I'm actually a lawyer. I've been practicing law now for the past 16 years. Okay, a total of 7 years. I was a prosecutor in the UK. I'm giving my full details. You can check if you like.
David, I thought you wanted to explain what you meant.
No, hold on. I want to explain to her. Just very quickly, because I think she misunderstood me. Okay, so and I'm sure none of my colleagues out here would say that disqualification amounts to any form of judicial punishment. It doesn't. It does not, by any stretch of anybody's imagination. Are they come? No, let me clarify. I want to explain. Wait, I'm not going there. I want to show.
Go to the right direction. You are still going to the wrong direction.
Okay, wait first. Let me explain to her why I said what I said. Okay, basically, I said what I said not because I don't want Tinubu to be punished. But unfortunately, Tinubu can only be punished through the criminal procedure itself, through the criminal code, through the Nigerian criminal code. That's where he can be punished. The tribunal cannot impose any form of judicial punishment on him. Disqualification is all he will get there. And it's great. Let them disqualify him.
Disqualification is a good start.
Okay, but that's what I'm telling you. And just to let you know, if we want to actually prosecute Tinubu, though the disqualification will help, but we don't necessarily need that to start a criminal prosecution against Tinubu himself. Because what this petition has actually unveiled is good enough to actually start a criminal prosecution against Tinubu.
But David, you can't do that now. He's the
Of course, yes. Obviously, when he's unseated. But I'm just trying to let my sister understand the reasons why I did not say anything about that, because it's a tribunal. It's a tribunal, and disqualification. Why should I be bothered about that? When I know that if I was the Attorney General, whether he's actually disqualified or not, I will still start a prosecution against him. You understand? For all the evidence that has been laid on the table. Yeah, so that's all. That's all I want to say. And she needs to understand that, please.
Yeah, Duke, I think you understand now. Duke, you understand.
He should have said all these things when he was doing his submission. He doesn't need to be challenged before saying all these things. David.
Enough.
negotiations on the table. Yeah, you go for maximum offense, and then they can negotiate down.
I accept, madam. I accept, ma'am. I accept. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you, Dunke.
Thank you, Dunke.
David said we don't, and David, I get legally, I actually understand what you're saying legally, that we don't need Tinubu to be disqualified for him to be prosecuted when he is no longer president. But me, I just want to say, I know we don't need him to be disqualified for Peter Obi to be president. I know that. But we want it. I personally, I want it. I want Tinubu to be disqualified. As in, it needs to be clear in Nigerians' history. I want it to be that when my grandchildren, years from now, read history, what they will see is that there was a man that dared to contest for election in Nigeria, and he had all these baggages, and the court ensured he was disqualified, even when the INEC at the time did not do it. I mean, because if the story goes on and say, oh, he was, they removed him as president, so everyone will say, oh, maybe he didn't just rig the election well, that's why. If he had rigged it well. So another criminal will come tomorrow and just try to
of the university. That's not a problem, because as far as you're asking them about the name Bola Tinubu, whether such name attended the university, their reply will always be in the positive because the person actually attended the university. It is a fact. There's another fact that will be revealed when you ask the university for more documents that will show the true identity behind the name. This is the mistake that many people who probed the issue in the past made. Remember, during Tinubu's first term as governor of Lagos State, a private individual by name Balogu wrote a petition against Tinubu that he didn't attend Chicago State University. Why he did the accusation was because Tinubu claimed to have lost his degree certificate when the military raided his house in the 90s. This forced Tinubu to produce the certificate in a press conference in Abuja, the same certificate he claimed to have lost in the INEC form. The problem here is that at the time, no one verified the transcript and the real identity of the person from the university in the US. Even the then human rights lawyer, Ganifa Wumi of blessed memory, felt there was something fishy to the extent that he went to court to seek an order that would compel the Inspector General of Police to investigate Tinubu. Tinubu appealed the judgment all the way to the Supreme Court, where they ruled that Ganifa Wumi cannot compel the Inspector General of Police to prosecute Tinubu for the certificate forgery. Tinubu was also accused of lying that he attended Government College Ibadan by the same petitioner. His name was not found in the list of Class 1 students of 1965. At the time, the school was planning a grand reception for Tinubu as one of their own, but immediately the petition became public, the school cancelled the reception because none of their old boys in the school at the time, when Tinubu claimed to have attended the school, none of them knew Tinubu. So the school cancelled the ceremony out of embarrassment. In the same petition, he was accused of lying about attending University of Chicago, which Nigerian journalists at the time wrote to the university to confirm, and he returned in the negative that he didn't attend the university. This time around, he didn't include University of Chicago, only Chicago State University. It was a serious issue at the time, to the extent that the Lagos State House of Assembly wanted to impeach him. But after they made their investigations, they only came up with the excuse that Tinubu accepted his mistakes, that Senator Afikiyomi was the one who filled the INEC form for him, and therefore Tinubu shouldn't be held responsible. Ganifa Wumi fought hard, even testified in front of the Lagos State House of Assembly that Tinubu committed perjury, But unfortunately, the Supreme Court ruled that while a governor's immunity doesn't prevent him from being investigated, he cannot be put under trial for perjury or anything. There's one thing that doesn't add up. During the investigation by the Lagos State House of Assembly, the journalists involved in the investigation discovered that Tinubu did his NYSC at one Haboni engineering company in Ibadan. He was in the 1982-83 batch. They were able to obtain a copy of his NYSC discharge certificate. He submitted this same certificate to INEC in 1999. So this is where it gets interesting. Why didn't Tinubu submit the same certificate to INEC last year? Why did he submit an exemption letter this time around to INEC? What happened to the one he submitted in 1999? What changed? Did he go back in time? Now, let's go back to what the judges will discover while going through the evidence submitted by Atiku's witness. They will discover that the owner of Chicago State University academic records was born in 1954, not 1952, as Tinubu wrote in his INEC EC9 form. They will also discover many discrepancies in the Chicago State University certificate that Tinubu submitted compared to the real one that the university issued to other students of the university at the period covering 1979 and beyond. If they see the discrepancies, the signature, design, university logo, and others, that means he forged it. And the electoral law is now very strict, unlike in 1999, concerning people who forge certificates. There are provisions that deal with candidates who are involved in certificate forgery. Whether he owns it or not, the most important thing is that the certificate is not the exact replica of the original. We made a detailed comparison in this video showing on the top right corner. The video link will also be at the end screen. The judges will also discover in one of the documents before them that one Bola Tinubu claimed to have attended Government College, Lagos in 1970. There's only one government college in Yaba, and the college wasn't in existence in 1970. In fact, the college was established 4 years after, in 1974, by Mobolaji Johnson, a former military administrator in Lagos State. So the person couldn't have attended a non-existent college. So as you can see, the baggages are just too much for one individual. The age is disputed, all the schools he claimed to have attended are questionable, so as the certificates, even Deloitte, where he claimed to have worked, is questionable. The company actually wrote a letter of denial when an inquiry was made. They said they don't know him, that such a name never worked for them. So the judge is seeing all this. It will be very obvious to them that this individual is hiding something. And when someone tells one lie, the person will need to tell more lies to cover the first one when the cover is broken.
Okay, I think that's more like where it ends mainly. God, I just tired for Tinubu. I'm not going to lie. As in, this is disturbing. Die. Tinubu must be this. I don't know why you people. I don't know why people don't understand this. I don't know whether people. I think on Violent Space later I'll still play this again. I don't know whether people.
I thought you were done.
I'm done. Like I'm done with the video. Like this particular.
No,
video.
I thought you were done speaking.
Oh, but can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. So I was just saying that. I mean, it's just crazy. If you listen to the video keenly, and I think I'll also post it later because most of the time I think these videos people don't go and watch and all that. But first of all, Tinubu in 1999 claimed he lost his certificate. Then when an investigation started, he produced a certificate. And, there were a lot of controversies. And he eventually said, I think someone said it earlier here today. That was what ended the whole investigation by the Lagos State House of Assembly of 1999 to 2003. There was like, it was a mistake. It was not the one that filled it. It was one, forgetting the person's name that filled it. So I don't even know why that was an excuse at the time, but it is fine. And like Mr. Maxwell said yesterday on Mindset Space, nowadays, when it comes to forfeiture, when it comes to forgery, rather, there's no, I don't know, there's nothing you can say. As long as, really, as long as, even if you forged in the past, it can be brought. Then I don't know whether people hear the part I always say every time, that in 1999, in that investigation that was a journalist did for the House of Assembly, one of the things that came out was that Tinubu served in Ibadan, one Aboni engineering company, at least one Tinubu. Now I don't even know which Tinubu I'm talking about again. I'm confused because there are so many. I don't even know. There are like different people, different places at the same time. Then I think the one I used to forget every time, I just remembered now. That's why I used to tell people that Tinubu's baggage does not come to an end. I think I've forgotten this part that there was a part where Tinubu claimed he had attended Government College Lagos. And that government college was not founded as of the time Tinubu said he had attended that school. Judiciary, I don't know if nowadays,
Well,
Justice
meaning
Amani.
Tinubu is a great man. In those days, great men didn't
I
need to
tell you.
attend schools.
Now, when they fight person, who send you? You
Justice
know your own.
Amani, Justice
You
Amani, yeah.
know your own school.
In the olden days.
I don't wait for one day where Justice Amani or Justice Ada or Justice Ugo go just request my Justice Ugo, please.
Meanwhile, how old is Tinubu again? Is it 61 or is it 71?
The truth is, if they ask me that question in an exam hall, I have a feeling I'll fail it. Like, objective, how old is Tinubu? A, 71. B, 73. How do I answer that question? C, 86. How do I answer it? I'll fail that question. No wonder that girl didn't pass that jam now. Maybe that's the question she failed. Anyway, let's go to speakers, I beg. I just tired.
Uncle Akaji has an announcement.
Uncle Akaji, please go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Am I coming across very clear?
Yes.
Can you feel the excitement in my voice? The Million Man Crew radio has just gone live. So some love emojis there. A lot of hard work to the crew. Yeah, big goodness me, that's not what I was expecting. Big Mag is at the listener session, so I'm just doing the honors. A lot of hard work. NG has been doing some stuff in the background, and so we really owe her a lot, and the rest of the team. Plenty of things these people are doing, and that's the way forward. There's no hiding. It's just gonna be relentless innovation. So I thought I should just say that Tinubu. Don't get me started. We don't know. The guy just edits, deletes, adds, just makes up what he needs to at every point in time. And what they've succeeded in doing since 1999 till date is to just get themselves to the point where they have a way of not being held accountable either in office or out of office. And I can tell you for free that when Oji Carlo and the Rochas and all those people, it was just because of the political season that was approaching. That's why someone just decided to go and intimidate them. But other than that, you can see they're all in their homes now, still enjoying the loot they had. So it goes back to the question, what kind of society do we really want as Nigerians? Is anything too low for us? Is anything too low? We don't know this guy. We don't know the people around him, but he is now going by the appellation of Commander-in-Chief of Africa's most populous. And then you're seeing a thug like Asari Dokubo come into breeze into a street. After looting the nation within a few months, there was a lot of pressure internationally for him to go. Then there was the reason to just hand over quickly, and of course, Obasanjo had been arranged. But since then, there's enough time within the election, especially this year, February 25 to May 29th, go and check the Kenyan calendar. That there was no reason on earth why the process shouldn't have run its course. So that you don't come to a situation where a clown, a criminal, should be the front, the face of Africa's the most populous black nation on earth. Goodness gracious! I mean, if you're not offended, I don't know in which world you live in. And you see people coming to try and defend and pretend and play along. A pastor had the temerity to say, "Oh well, it's like your football team. You may not have had a choice in the who's playing, but the team's playing." And I said, "Goodness, what sort of a stupid analogy is that?" So today I responded. The incidents we had. I think it was in Munich, when some guys planned for 2 months, and these guys successfully wore the Manchester United colors. But he wasn't quite sure. Nobody else saw. And he stood with them there until eventually it was figured out that he was an imposter, and he was removed. You're not going to tell me to come and applaud an imposter because he's somehow you've handed him some silly certificate and did some ceremonies around it. So Obi has his work cut out. As we all, some of this little nonsense needs to be removed, because if you look at the Ways report on which the electoral reform was supposed to be based, you were supposed to exhaust the judicial process before you hand over power. And him in this process. And the cold case of Funsho Williams needs to be reopened and examined. And the burning down of that court in Lagos needs to be reopened and examined, so that this nation can begin to build and people can begin to differentiate wrong from right. So I'll just yield here, but congratulations to the crew again. If you're hearing my voice ranting on the radio, well, I didn't intend that, but I'm just excited all around, really. God bless.
God bless you. Goodness gracious. All right, moving on.
Thank you very much, Okwai. Meanwhile, sorry, before you move on, please, guys, we'll be rounding up the space very soon, probably with the speakers I have currently in the speaker section only. But your account number is on the Jumbotron.
Can anyone hear well meaning? Goodness gracious. Well meaning, are you there?
Well meaning, you're talking to yourself. Oh.
Well meaning, sir.
We can't hear you. Yeah, you're back. We can hear you now. Just stay where you are now.
Well meaning, Kai, unmute your mic now. I think I need to go and reconnect to that handle because I don't know what's happening to him.
Please, if you've just joined us, this is the Million Match space, radio, Facebook, YouTube. Shout out to all of you listening from all the different channels across the world. We are just discussing the many reasons why the gentleman called Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be nowhere near the seat of power in Nigeria.
Gentleman, Bola Tinubu.
All right, so we got a donation of 50,000 naira. Thank you.